The City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Greetings, Los Angeles. Welcome to episode 317 of the Heart of LAFC podcast. That's right. We're going onward. We're going upward, and we got the last laugh against Carson, nearly sealing their fate and ending their playoff hopes for another year. Happy times in Los Angeles. That's what that is. All right, so we're going to cover that today. We're also going to, of course, cover the biggest game of the season yet, which is our match against St. Louis on the road on Wednesday. I mean, talk about putting it all together and doing a head-to-head to decide the West. Pretty good setup. So that's what we're going to cover. Of course, Bam's here, Tony's here, and Araceli. And I'm going to throw it to Araceli first. How are you doing today?
Actually, doing very good. Just gearing up for a very busy week.
I can only imagine. Which is good. You know, I mean, it's better to have you busy than anything else. So I know you're going to give us some updates as we get farther along in the episode, cover some from MLS to madness that's going on as the playoffs approach. So that's going to be fun. Of course, Bam is here. Bam, how are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Been a busy weekend, but it was a great weekend to begin with.
Excellent, sir. Excellent, sir. And Tony, how are you with that beautiful Roma shirt?
I'm doing pretty well. Glad to get the 3 points and win the game that we needed to win. Now just shifting our focus onto the number one team in the West and just loving life at the moment.
And of course, Benjamin Verheyen is over there. Of course, he works for the team. Busy as always. Definitely looking forward to anytime we play his team. So it's a good conversation. So we see you, Ben. We see you working hard, man. Good stuff. Talking about St. Louis, I'll just say this. Yes, they're a rivalry in sport at this point because we're up in the standings, but I got to say I do appreciate what they're doing so far this year. It reminds me a lot of us in the early days. So it's good to have the new blood be the way they are and be competitive. It's better for the league. And, man, it's going to be for a great game on Wednesday, so bring it on. Now, let's get right to it. Carson and all that fun and enjoying the madness that was, including Ollie taking a extended flight with potential layover before finally coming down, and Apple kind of basically pulling the plug on the show at that moment. Thankfully, Ollie is safe. Ollie is okay. All love for Ollie and Ken, man, and the family. That looked a little bit stressful, that's for sure, but she's good. She made the landing and she hit her target. What looked like it might have been a bad omen just turned out to be a dramatic pause. So good on Ollie with that. Tony, I know you were having one heck of a night out there. How are you feeling after that massive victory?
I'm feeling great. I'm not gonna lie, it was stressful the whole time. I had nerves just going through the whole game. It felt like a derby, but it didn't feel like a derby. It was like a weird mixture of like nervousness and stuff like that. But overall it was good. No major incidents that happened, which was always a good thing. And you know, I heard their bus broke down, so that was a fun little thing to find out.
Bus breaking down, fools not making it into the stadium, just all kinds of madness from that end, because what else do you expect but drama? Pretty cool. There was some royalty in the stadium, as well as St. Pauli's Ultra St. Pauli's leader was actually at the stadium, so that was pretty cool to see. A lot of other folks in there. I mean, again, faces show up for the big game, but also people who are on the real. It's nice to see they're enjoying and what we do and appreciating what we do. So all love to St. Pauli and their leadership there. All right, so let's get to the lineups. So basically in this match, no big surprise for us. The 4-3-3 was the story. Of course, the big news, of course, was Max was back in goal. And before I even talk about the rest of the lineup, we do have to address this and how happy I think it makes all of us feel to see Max back into the mix. I know that when they were doing the warm-ups, they were kind of quiet about it before announcing the lineup. And one of the guys looks at me and goes, there's going to be a amazing, no matter what happens today, there's going to be a silver lining to this match. You'll see, was what I was told. And then when Max came out with the actual strip and John didn't, he had his warm-up strip. You're like, well, there it is, and Max goes right to it. Max was so careful about his preparation. He even took some shots from the players where normally the starter never does that. He actually wanted to get a couple dives in and hard shots. So it was good to see the focus from him. Great to see him back after a very long layoff. We are just beyond happy and thrilled to have him healthy again. Happy again. You can see it on his face and where he belongs back in the sticks for us. Bam, from your angle, from your watching it, I'm sure on your end you were feeling a lot of stuff after that, a lot of emotion.
Oh, definitely. The moment I saw the starting lineup, I was like, "This feels right. This feels good." We had Max back in the starting lineup. We had the Chiellini long center back. Bogus was in the mid where he belonged. Vela belonged up top, and I was glad that Oliveira had the chance to start. And to me, that was a great decision.
Yeah, that was the big debate we also had before the game as well on the last episode is who goes up, and Oliveira was the name. I think, Bam, you mentioned him first. Get Gonzalez out, put Oliveira in, go with the dynamic players that are showing it rather than the money, right? And we were a little cynical, right, in the approach, like, I'm not sure they're going to go that far. Well, I mean, give Dolo credit where credit is due, okay? He went with Max, which is on a hunch, and a guy that has not played a major minute this season. He put him in a rivalry match. And then Oliveira, talk about a major test for a young player. That's pretty darn good right there. So you got to give Dolo credit. That was gutsy. That was a needed move. I think, Tony, you're in agreement, right? I mean, that was the gutsy stuff to do. That was what was needed.
Yeah, and like change up the lineup, having someone perform who is performing in practice, not only in practice but in games, and showing that he wants to be there. And no taken to Mario, but Mario wasn't doing anything, so it was the right move for this big of a game, and he made the right moves, even with, of course, Max back in goal. Which, as I was walking the stadium, I knew he was in goal because he did his ritual that he does every time we start set up, and I was like, he's in the goal. And so it was nice to see that. I love McCarthy. He did everything he did. He thanked you for everything you've done, but at the end of the day, you knew it was going to be Max's job to lose when he came back.
Or win, ultimately, because John had the opportunity. He did win us an MLS Cup, right, with an amazing display. Got us farther than we've ever been, ever, in any competition, right? I mean, really did a great service to us. Did run into a cold streak here, and in the world of goalkeepers, that's how it works. You got to put in the capable hands, the guys that are not quite doing it at the moment as a goalkeeper. You got to take a rest. I mean, that's just how life is. That's not saying he's not going to get minutes going forward. I can kind of promise that he probably will get at least another game for sure, or more. Depends on how Max does, right? But what you now have is a tandem of goalkeepers that are capable of doing the job, and even your third string can do the job. So we're good right now in goal. It's just nice to have a proper competition. We kind of have 2-1s at this point, which is something we've really struggled to have that. So we'll take it. The other big story, of course, was Bogu, Sanchez, and Acosta in the midfield. The Tillman Acosta experiment didn't happen for this one, right? Save for later. And again, smart move, wise move, interesting point to take. Now, looking on the other side, if you look at Carson, Sharp was their striker up top. There you go. With Boyd and Fagundes on both sides, with Rosell, Delgado, and Puig. With Mavinga, Yoshida as your center backs, Cuevas as your right back, the Snake as your left back, and Bond as your goalkeeper. Of course, they went a little bit higher in their setup, tried to match us man for man on this one, which is a different approach than they normally do. Trying to take the front foot to us was their approach. So that's where they confidence was there. They had a good run against us the last time they played us, and so they tried to take it to us, and now they have a more capable striker in tow. So there you go. That was the lineup. It was set for a little bit of fireworks, and it promised some fireworks, as Tony is going to explain for some of the highlights in this thing. I will say the physicality was good. The counterattacks were good. It was definitely back and forth. It's what we wanted from this kind of a battle. So go for it, Tony.
All right. So as you all know, it was a 4-2-1, a 4-2 scoreline with us coming in victorious overall in the 23rd minute with us starting up. Dennis Bouanga with a header to the center of the box at the high center with a high center goal with a nice assist by Palacios. It was like a very nice, quick, easy flick between Bond, and it was nice to be ahead. But in El Tráfico fashion, as always, not even 2 minutes later after we score, Billy Sharp ends up scoring right off the goal. The right footed shot at the center of the box at the bottom right, assisted by Fagundes. And I was like, here we go. This is El Tráfico. This is how it always goes. It's never clear cut. It's never easy. But not even 8 minutes later, Mr. Hollingshead with a nice goal from outside the box with the assist. And I say this with very air quotes by Vela because that wasn't going to Hollingshead. Hollingshead intercepted the pass a little bit. It hit him really hard and went forward. And then Hollingshead put us up 2-1 going into the half. And I was scared for a moment because I said we just need one more goal and I'll be happy. And yeah, well, let's talk about what happens in the second half in a second. What do you guys think of the first half, though?
The why always us factor kicked into my head, of course. Like, good, all that hard work and a goal that kind of had the vibes of the Palacios to Bale finish, right? Little flashback there. It was just so perfectly weighted. So you figured, dude, we finally got a dagger in these guys. The play showed that it should have been this way for the guys only to fall asleep. I mean, it's tough when we get into this stuff like this because you basically gave the goal back, right? It's like all that hard work, we earned it. Here, take it back. It was a good finish by the Galaxy. I gotta give them credit. You know, the spin move finish was rather interesting. But you gotta wonder where are we at on this? The other thing I think maybe played a role in this was the quick yellow cards against us. With the subpar referee that we had, because who's going to take him out of the play when he's quickly throwing yellow cards left and right? And it does affect the way you approach the play. So you could look at that as maybe one of the factors why we just didn't get cynical on the play, is because the guys that could have got cynical on the play could have been sent off early because they already had a yellow card in hand. Am I looking at that right, Bam? That's who was contact early in that play.
Yeah, exactly. It was really interesting. My biggest thing to take away from the first half is how amazing is I believe he's the third leading goal scorer on our team and defender.
Oh, Ryan Hollingshead?
Yep. He scored the third amount most for our team. He's got the same amount of goals as some decent players. Like Hollingshead has the same amount of goals as Chicho has right now.
Well, isn't that what he did last year?
I believe it was too.
It's no change. It's Ryan being Ryan. This is how he approaches the game. This is how, with our team. The freedom that he has, it shows. Again, he's playing right back, and he's on a play that's a breakout play, and he's ahead of Vela, going in the middle. Why is he even there? Just think about that. How normal is that for your right back to be moving center, as if he's shifting into center forward role? That's some wild stuff, man. It just is. And again, it's the freedom, it's the understanding that these guys have, the veteran presence to know that they can cover for him. So he has the freedom to get crazy like that. But you need that, right, in a big game.
Oh, definitely. And you also look at too, like other players in the league that are on 4 goals at the moment are Picoult and LAFC's favorite player to hate, Johnny Russell, is on 4 goals right now. So our right back
a lot of the year.
Yeah. He has. Our right back has the same amount of goals as arguably one of the best strikers of the year. Like Russell's played 21 games so far this year and has 4 goals.
Yeah. It's nice. It's nice to have so much talent on your team, right? It's nice to be where we're at, and veteran talent. He's worth his weight in gold. I mean, really. He might be the most underpaid guy on the team at this moment. It'd be easy to argue that. We're lucky to have him where he's at, where he's playing. He seems to be better at right back these days than left back. He's just completely fit into the role and he's comfortable with it. It's good to have trust in your roster. That's for sure. Araceli, your impressions of the frenzied first half.
The first half, definitely, I really felt the butterflies in my stomach, so to speak, because I think it was especially around the 15th minute where it seemed like there was a little miscommunication up top. So just to have that general anxiety was not necessarily overwhelming, but of course, when it comes to these matches, you always expect for that type of feeling in any sense. But regardless, as the game progressed and we nabbed the first goal in the 23rd minute with the Galaxy answering it within a minute, I mean, it just more or less set the tone for the match then on. And it really just like any other El Tráfico game. But for me personally, what I really loved seeing was just watching Max back in goal, because I know going into this, I had my reservations about it, but to see him actually back where he belongs, so to speak, it's just was amazing to watch.
And I think it pumped up the team as well. It had to, right? Having him back,
Mhm.
he is a leader for this side. To have him back in the mix is just critically important. We love John. John's been doing great, right? But Max is kind of that guy, right? Lifting a medal from a stretcher after, there's so much spirit there. So yeah.
Oh, there's absolutely
Now,
no doubt that he has that personality, because you even saw that when he was playing with LAFC too for those first couple of matches. He showed that gratitude to be back on the pitch, to be able to play again, and now going back to his original spot, you could tell the emotion in his face, especially during the post-match interviews.
and how thankful he is to the fan base having his full support all the way through it. He hasn't held back on that either. The match I did get to go to where he did start for LAFC 2, he ended up giving away pretty much all of his gloves, all of his jerseys. He just kind of everything he had, he just dispersed it right to everybody, to
I
give it
was
to the
there
kids.
too. He had at least a good 30 jerseys in his hand, and he
Yeah,
signed every
yeah.
single one and handed them out to the fans. That I still have
He
pictures from
bleeds.
that game. That was a
Yeah,
beautiful sight.
he bleeds black and gold, guys. I mean, there's no question. He is the guy. He is the face of the organization, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of being the spirit and the toughness that we want. He shows it. So, yeah, good to have him there. Now, second half kicks off. It doesn't go so well for us, does it, Tony?
No, it does not. Unfortunately, in the 59th minute, goal by Yoshiada. Yoshiada, yeah. With right-footed shot on the right side of the box in goal. So, header from the center of the box with like an assist header from Tyler Boyd, and it was like, here we go. This is how it's going to start, and this is what we need to get back. Yes, ma'am.
Before we go any further, let's be honest. That was a nice goal. That was a good setup. Boyd had smart thinking to flick it back over that way instead of going for goal. I'll give credit where credit is due. That was a decent goal.
I will counter that.
Okay, go for it. Go for it.
I'll counter that because Max hesitated. Max doesn't hesitate. He probably has a chance at the ball.
But where? I'll throw that, because it looked like it was going to be a fat cross. Like, oh yeah, I can get this thing, and then it dipped. It fell early. I think that's why he came back. Is like, wait a minute, it didn't float. It came down quicker than he expected it to. But I saw the hesitation. We all saw the hesitation. But I'll be honest, if he goes wild on that one and tries to get into that first contact, that first touch, most likely he clatters through the guy. The angle was never good. If he gets a piece of it, cool, but I guarantee you gets a piece of the player too, and we know how Penso is. We're gonna get a call. So it's one of those things. the goalkeeper's dilemma, right? Do I get into the mix? What's my percentage? Now, the fact that they did a flick on instead of try to go near post high, because you would expect that play, or you flick it back post, right? You look for the back post goal. He didn't. He just went flick on. Like, that's a different mindset there. It almost looks set. And then the finish was good finish. It was not much you can do there. Chiellini got beat bad on the play. To me, that was the guy that was ultimately beat on this thing. Like, oof, he was not ready for that. And he saw on his face, like he put it on himself. Yeah, I didn't get a good jump. And he didn't get a good jump. So it happens, right? That's the sport we play. It's the sport we love. When you think you got it figured out, a moment like that kicks in. So they put it in they put it in the margins, and you paid. Now, did it get fun? Did it get crazy? Was there a lot of back and forth until the next goal? Yes. Were there chances for both sides? Yes, but not much on the day for the Galaxy. As much as they were pushing, as much as they were possessing, the chances weren't coming except for those two, to be honest. Like, real chances, that was it. That was it. And then we came in and did what we had to do. Tony, what happens next?
Well, we got gifted a goal with a pass back for Dennis Bouanga by the Carson defender, and intercepted it. Juked the keeper and just slid it into the goal and put us up 3-2. And then for the final dagger in the game, because that was the game-winning goal, but for the dagger of the game, it went to Tillman in the 84th minute with a fast break pass that Mario found Tillman on the right-hand side, and Tillman, nice little strong, low place shot into the goal, and that is the ball game. After that, they never recovered. They tried with like an extra 6 minutes, but let's be real, 7 minutes, and a lot of back and forth. But at the end of the day, it was us, and you can see the actual skill gap between the two teams of which one is ahead is going. Yes, Carson had the momentum going into this game, but we're playing at peak performance, but there's still some questions on that performance that we'll get into in the post game overall.
Well, I mean, yeah, you allow 2 shots all game and both of those go in. It's a rough go, right? You're like, oh man, once you think you got it figured out, they get efficient on you. So that's one. I will say this with the Denny Bouanga goal, it did feel like the ghosts of Horta and the soccer gods kind of gave one back to us. Right? They've got a lot of gifts against us, man. Finally, we got one. We never get gifts against that team. We never get bounces against that team. We finally got one. So it's karma. It's a given. That and the nonsense these guys were pulling all game anyway. So karma got you. I'll go to you, Araceli. Impressions of the match.
I mean, my impressions are pretty much the same as kind of from the first half. As I mentioned, once Galaxy got that equalizer, it set the tone for it with a little back and forth, of course. Now going into the second half, there was a few stressful moments, naturally, but just to see LAFC pull out the win with the final 2 goals at the end was absolutely brilliant, especially considering up until this point, they haven't been playing fairly well.
No, it's a good bounce back. That's for sure. Bam?
For what we needed over the last 3 weeks to come out and have a dominant performance against Sam, this is how we should play all the games against them. We didn't back down. We weren't scared of them. We just stepped up and went, no, this is our town. We live and die in LA. This is what we do. Welcome to LA.
The Tifo response. There we go. Fine Tifo, by the way. A fine Tifo done by many, many people of a size never done before by the 3252. So thank you for mentioning that. It was outstanding. Good job, guys. It was a bear to get it up, a bear to set it up. There was all kinds of obstacles. Still got it done. Still got the job done. So shout out to everybody in the 3252 that got that organized, finished, and up and raised. So I will say in a couple things. Tony, you want to add any more of that before I throw into my 2 cents?
Yes. So as much as I do enjoy the win, and we did the job that we needed to do, got the 3 points, and put a halt on their playoff performance, and also making the playoffs. There's still the issue of finishing. There was a couple opportunities where we could have put it away earlier than what we did, and yes, when we finally put away the goals and stuff, but we still have to be critical at this point because 6 games left. We're gonna go over what the playoff picture looks like. We need to get these done with and over with, because if we keep playing like this and we play an actual good team, those goals may be account for either a win or a loss.
Yeah, I mean, we had 9 shots on goal in the game. 4 went across the line. That's a better rate than we normally do, I gotta say. But of course, there were still 14 shot attempts, right? So there were some that just didn't even make it in. Could be better. I think it is interesting in a game where the Galaxy held 61% possession that we got so many shots off on the counter and in transition. They came at us and failed that approach, because it used to be they'd play the wait and see and counter us to death, and we just kind of role reversed on this thing, and it paid itself off. It was a wise move, that's for sure. Poor Max didn't get a save on the day, but he still was out there doing the work. So pretty funny on that side of things. Yeah, overall impressions of the match, I would say, good on the boys for getting physical, not giving into these guys, not letting up after 2 cheap yellow cards in the first half, still living on the edge to win this thing. I made the comment when we played Messi and the last time we played Puig, if this guy doesn't have grass stains on his jersey, we're not doing our job. Dude, he had plenty of grass stains on his jersey. We were very physical in this game. Hollingshead and Vela were the physical guys, the most physical with him, which did you expect that? Pretty cool, boys. All the way around, I mean, not giving in to anything. Bouanga showing some edge there at the end, then it cracked me up. That was pretty funny at the end, like, get any closer and you know it's going to happen. That's pretty funny. But we needed that edge. We needed that wild streak in our play that we tend to not have. We usually be the victim, we with that victim attitude. We didn't do it this time. They're the ones laying all over the floor and hurting. We were the one giving it to him this time. And that's something we really, really needed. Tony's laughing a bit because he knows it was different, right?
Oh, 100% it was different, but it was just funny to finally as much as he's a puke or whatever, Puge, he's a good player, but he needs to hit the weight room and learn from the other 2 Barcelona academy players what they've done over the summer,
Well, I mean, some got growth hormones, some didn't. What can you do?
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. I'll let it go. I'll just know this. The iconic photo from Imad. Did you see it? The Zlatan comparison.
I thought you were talking about
it's just gorgeous. Oh, the Payaso. Yeah, shout out to the Payaso banner makers of I'm pretty sure that was Black Army Madness right there. Yeah, that was cool. You guys rock.
I just love the inception of that picture, not gonna lie. Ruben taking picture of Ruben.
Ruben to Puig on the floor, and
yeah,
that was beautiful. That and the player laid out on the floor while all the celebrations going on was pretty perfect too. So kind of a metaphor to their season, I guess you could say. Call it done, finished. All right. What we get to do this time, which we haven't got to do in a long time. That's right. The 3 stars of the match. We actually get to do that because we haven't done that in forever. So, Bam, you have the floor, sir. 3 stars, man. Make it happen, dude.
Thanks to everyone that tweeted in as well, like usual, all the usual places and all that kind of stuff. From the fans, Bouanga got 99% of the votes. He tops it over there. Hollingshead came in second fan votes and plus first third. Honorable mentions, obviously, Bogus, Crepeau, Keek, Vela, Acosta, St. Ilie, and there was a Tillman vote too, which was good to see. For me, I went Bouanga for my 3 points, Villa for my 2 points, and Hollingshead got my 1 point for that match, for that goal. That was just an amazing goal. He deserves that 1 point.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Tony?
I'm gonna say Buonga top because of the 2 goals, the brace and the assist. Tillman for number 2 for getting back into form and hopefully continues on moving forward. And Max for his performance. A tie with Max and Hollingshead for the goal that shouldn't have been a goal.
But he still finished. Araceli?
Bowanga for 3, Hollingshead 2, and then giving a vote to Max just for simply being back.
There we go. There we go. Of course, my first star definitely will be going to Bouanga, because how could you not? Second star, I'm going to go to Palacios. He's been through a hell of a lot. For him to put in the performance he put, even after taking a cheap yellow, still getting in there, still not being afraid of it. I'm going to give him second star, and then Vela would get my third star, because honestly, he was everywhere in this game. More than I've seen before from him in terms of being deep on the field, being high. He was all over the place and really a pest for them all game. So those would be my 3 choices. As much as I love Hollingshead, y'all could carry the votes for me this week, because he'd be up there too. If we could have 4 stars, he'd be my next guy. So there we go. Sounds good, Bam? There we go. 3 stars in the mix, of course. Reactions. Let's hear from you guys on this. Please join the conversation. Let's get it out to our supporters here. Comment time. You guys are busy tonight. There's some coverage here. So I'm going to get all the way to the top and have fun with this one. Smalls Kenobi at the top of the list says, love that taste of victory. LA is black and gold. There we are. Dave Gomez says, let's go. Keep up the good form from the weekend. LAFC Wolf, good evening, black and gold fam. Excited for the win and happy to see everyone at the game. Always great time saying hi. Agreed, sir. Mark said Ollie had him sweating. We all did, man. I was really worried there. LAC Wolf said he was hunting for clowns. Ollie on the hunt. LAC Wolf, out of all the Classicos, this was the first time I see LAC go for blood. Did not mind putting some elbow and blows. Loved it. Never giving up. Not the best game, but loved it. It doesn't have to be the prettiest when you're playing your rival. It's just got to be effective. And I think that's what they did. I'm with you, man. We needed that gutsy performance. Team Bonilla, we should keep the same starting line that we had against Carson, or at least the same 3 forwards for the upcoming games. And we will definitely talk about that next. Dig it. LOL Trash Can says, feeling good, so glad. We have Mr. Velez on here as well. He says, was nice seeing El Payaso flying around the field. Vela was a bully this game. Yeah, he was. He was a proper captain. That's what captains do. Love it. LSC Wolf, do not want to be talking bad about Keeling, but 2 times we snoozed 2 goals in the positive with the amount of yellow cards and no reds, but no Palacios next game. That's going to hurt. That's for sure. Let's see. Team Bonilla, we should use the same starting lineup from this weekend, or at least same 3 forwards, like that trio up top. Saki say Chris Benso should be banned from refereeing El Tráficos going forward. Dude, it took 5 fouls for them to get a yellow and 1 for us on a very obvious professional foul situation. They got multiple outs, and first shot, you get 1. It was really ridiculous. It was. I'm with you. Soccer USA, Payaso Tifo get co-MVP of the game. Legendary photo for the history books. Yes. Ellis Willis, the mustache came to play. Stash is fire. There we go. Rumors is Payaso pulled groin. Well done, team. Well done. Pulled ego is more like it. Yeah, forget that guy. LSC Wolf on the 3rd goal. Bouanga reading the play perfectly. Got it. Mistake. And yeah, he read the play. He made the run as necessary. All credit to him on that. Wolf said Chiellini hesitated on the replay. He did. He didn't get a proper jump on it. That's for sure. Dave Gomez, Penso de Menso. We've had that before. At least we got a result this time. Third goal reminiscent of Mac's broken leg play in the final. Bond will not give up his body for the clowns. No way. I wouldn't either. Wolf said the Japanese player did his job, even if not to like to say it. Truth is truth. Well done, header. No, it's good finish, as Bam said. It was a good finish. Again, their goals, I can't, as much as we snoozed on the first one, still they had to execute, and they executed. So that's part of the game too. Third goal was head chop, and fourth icing on the cake. The dagger. LAFC Wolf. LAFC did something not done in a Rose Bowl or Open Cup. Cut Payosa 6 from playing, killed him out. That was what they needed to do in those games and didn't do it. They got overwhelmed. Of course, the right back situation was rather wild for that last one. So different people, more rest, our proper lineup changes things. Dave says Tifo was bomb. That is agreed. Now we got car culture involved, man. It's perfect. Soccer USA, Bogus, Acosta, Sanchez did a great job of shutting down Baby Pooj. Nothing came down the center. It really didn't. And he says, and Vela. Yeah. Again, there's a lot of first stars in this game. Miguel Campos loved how everyone just got in Puke's face. Yeah, it was needed. Let's see. Okay, so Daniel Angel says Vela had a couple turnovers, bad passes. As our main chance creator, do you take the bad with the good? I would say this. If you're trying to break through a line and trying to create things where there wasn't, especially if you're a counterattacking team, which we took on in this game, you're going to have some bad passes. You're taking chances. That's what happens. And sometimes they look really bad. Sometimes they look really brilliant. But sometimes you just have to put it in the mix to make the defender make the play or make the goalie make the save. You force them to do their jobs. And that's what those passes do. Sometimes they don't look so pretty, but you got to do something. Yeah, and as he says, Vela sending Baby Pooch to the floor was a sight to see. Wolf mentioned it. Wonga with that backhand was awesome, just awesome. Team was fused with the 32-52 for that second. You felt it, man. The frustration. There's so much frustration to get out. Again, last laugh. It's beautiful. Yeah, everybody forgot about the backhand. I'm gonna go forward here. Soccer USA says, wish Tillman to make more deep runs. He buries his chance and he's got decent pace. Agreed. And this time he basically intentionally shanked a near post shot. Like you could see the way he wanted to get that angle on that shot. It was ideal. It really was. Mark Lopez says Palacio showing his worth while he was injured and returning. We were at our worst. When he's killing it, we're killing it. Yeah.
About
Soccer
Palacios
USA.
too.
What happened?
Palacios is out next game.
Yeah, I know.
Too many yellow cards.
It. Doing his job, of course. Getting a cheap one from Penso. Man. See, that's why Penso stinks. Soccer USA, not to end on a negative note, but wasn't feeling Buke's lackluster effort. He needs to turn up the energy dial. It needs a sense of urgency with Kike now in the fold. Love Kike's energy. We all did. Excellent player. Excellent. Again, a good find by John. That's for certain. And for Buke, I know he had traveled, right? But other guys did too. I guess you could say it's quality kind of showing itself versus youth, and players play themselves in or out of the lineup. That's life. And he's playing himself out of it right now. That's what he's doing. He's got that choice. He's got to work his way back. Can't feel down on it. He's got to just keep working hard. So essential. All right. So there are comments. Good work, everybody, on that. Again, every time you guys say what you got to say, it's appreciated. You're the reason why we do what we do. All right, let's get to it. Let's get over to some community news. The man, the myth, the legend, Tony has it all. Let's go for it, Tony. What do you got for community news?
Before my phone decided to update, I had everything on my phone, and I was like, "Oh crap, gotta stop it." Yeah, people.
We can shift out and go back to big picture if you want to talk about percentages.
Oh no, I have that right now. It's just like as of right now, we do have watch parties going on at the moment.
Yeah.
Because we have a wide day. The only one that has been posting about one of them is the Luckies, which is going to be at Oh, I was gonna say, where the hell did they? I was like, at Lucky Baldwin's pub again, at 17 South Raymond Avenue, Pasadena, California. September game starts at 5:30, so be there, and I will post more on the watch parties as soon as I become available, so they'll pop up tomorrow. Also want to give a shout out to Millie, who gave out the game ball yesterday for childhood cancer awareness. As some of you know, most of BA does know, and I know personally, as she is one of my favorite people and she always makes me smile. She is a survivor of childhood cancer, and so it's kind of a good story to bring out. I know Libby and her really try to put their story out there and do a lot. So congratulations on them for her first, Millie's first El Trafico, and also just having the strength and stuff like that, because I love Millie and everything like that. So top of that, it's all community news for as the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Millie's been through more than most of us have been through in a lifetime, and so to see her where she's at, putting the ball up at the beginning of the game was absolutely amazing. I had the privilege of doing the jump for LA Football Club with her in the front row. That was awesome as well. Always enthused, always into it. Yeah, nothing but love for the whole fam. That's for sure. That's for sure. Thank you, Tony, for bringing that up. All right. I guess it's LAFC 2 news. Oh, I will say this. I did talk to Sergio from Expos. They're going to be, from what I heard, at their usual spot in Boyle Heights. So I did see that too. It's not posted, but I think that's where they're heading to. I just ran into them today. So I'll just throw that out there. Let's see. LAFC 2 update. Throwing it to you. Go for it.
All good news in the world of LAFC 2 as they chopped down the Timbers 4-0 for their first pair of back-to-back wins, and they finally moved up and out of last place, switching spots with Carson. Just to see them finally get these results is outstanding, but at the same time, unfortunately, it's a little too late for them, as we already know, they've already been disqualified from the playoffs run. But for the match itself, Leo Flores scored his first hat trick, 2 of them being penalties in the 32nd minute and the 75th minute, as well as his additional goal in the 61st minute. And his hat trick actually earned him Player of the Matchday honors for week 27. If you haven't seen the award go up today on MLS Next Pro socials, I highly recommend you go check it out. We've also got it up on our socials as well. Aside from that, Adrian Wibowo? I promise I will work on pronunciations during the off season.
Yeah,
but he scored
Wibowo.
Wibowo. He scored the winning goal in the 89th minute. Tamir lays a ball in front of Adrian just inside the 18, who then goes on to beat the keeper in a 1v1 to seal the deal for LAFC 2. Decision day is this Sunday. Yes, it is already at that point. That the day we've been waiting for is finally coming up. LAFC 2 will end their season on the road in San Jose when they travel to take on the Earthquakes, who are actually battling for one of the final 2 spots in the West for the playoffs. So LAFC 2 has that chance to be the spoiler for them. I'm just putting it out there. For those interested in watching, again, the match will be this Sunday at 2:00, and it will be streamed on Apple TV.
There we go. So let me hear that again. Who's in last place in the West?
Carson.
Oh, Carson. Oh, who's not in last place in the West?
LAFC 2.
There we go. What a way to finish the season, guys. Hey, you moved up. You at least moved up. I give you full credit for that. It's been rough this year. There's something to take away that they surged towards the end. They're getting results towards the end. They're kind of finding themselves playing spoiler. And they're doing it, right, Araceli? I mean, they're playing really well, too.
Oh, absolutely. And as I've mentioned in past shows, I know LAFC too has definitely had their struggles in the beginning of the season, and we saw that very clearly. But now that they're really having a chance to gel as a team, we're starting to see the results, which is only positive going into next season. Hopefully, we'll continue to see those same performances, if not a couple of the guys get moved up to the first team. But other than that, I am planning to do kind of more of a season rundown with them next week after decision day, because as of now, we all know how decision day goes. You never know what's going to happen. And if they're able to beat the Earthquakes, that's only going to be beneficial for the club. So
Yeah.
there's a potential storyline right there.
Silver lining, that's for sure. Thank you, Araceli, for that. And of course, you'll keep us posted as the way the playoffs are going to play themselves out. Because I know you've been running everywhere, and I know getting ready to travel yet again. Not going to wait too much. Definitely not going to. But yeah, keep it up. We're proud of you. I mean, it is really awesome to see how things are playing themselves out. So, all the best. All right. So, yes, ma'am.
Before we get off the MLS Next Pro stuff, I do have to say, congrats to St. Louis City too. They actually broke the record for the attendance over the last game when they played Carson too. They had 9,626 people at the MLS Next Pro game.
Check you guys out. That, I mean, it's supposed to be Soccer City, right?
Time that they broke their own attendance record this season.
That's wild. I mean, they do claim to be like the birthplace of American soccer, right? I mean, that's supposed to be the place.
Oh, don't get me started on that. Do not
I
get
know,
me started.
I know. Old history. But they're making new history, so you do have to give them credit where credit is due. That is impressive to get those kind of numbers. So keep it up, St. Louis, at least not against us, but do what you want elsewhere, just not against us. Perfect. So we move on to the album of the week, which probably is the least prepared, but I got a few ideas. I think Bam has one. Did you have one you want to throw out? I had another thought, but
no, you go for yours. You go for yours.
All right. Last time we played St. Louis, we featured Chuck Berry. Y'all remember? So I don't think we can throw that back again, as much as I love Chuck Berry music. And gosh, I something a little different. So you know who came up? Tina Turner. She broke out of St. Louis, and I think she would be a perfect choice for today's episode. I think What's Love Got to Do with It probably might be the best one from Private Dancer, if you're going to think about it. Am I wrong on this? I mean, we're here in the middle of the night talking about LAFC. That's got to be some love there, right?
That was the first song. That was the first song that came up into my head. I literally started voicing it as soon as I
Earworm, right?
Yeah.
See, for me, it's not the first song that pops into my head. For me, when I hear Tina Turner, the first song pops in my head because
here he goes.
Back in the early 90s, it was the song that the National Rugby League used to promote their season, and she came out and sang it at the grand final live. Simply the best.
Just simply
there
the best.
And again. So okay, he beat me again. What album was that from, dude?
Simply the Best was from
her self-titled album. There it is. Okay, so I think he's got the winner there. That's a better album.
Foreign Affair.
All right, there we go. Perfect, man. Well done. Again, Tina Turner albums. I mean, you could just fire it off and you'll be fine. There we go. So there's our choice for the week. Random as we can get, but appropriate. So there we are. All right. So let's move it on forward. We want to talk a little bit about magic numbers. Yeah, I was going to do earlier, but they think this is the perfect time to do it. Yes, Tony?
Well, there's one I just realized. Didn't she sing "Rolling in the River"?
That was her.
She did a cover of Proud Mary. Yep.
Yeah, okay. with the Ike and Tina Turner breakout from St. Louis. You want to go historic? Yes, that would be the one. And then her own solo career as she branched out and really had a resurgence in the 80s. Breaking trends, that's for sure. So amazing career. Yeah, for sure. All right, so big picture, the standings, the probabilities, what's it going to take to get in, who we get to pick on and laugh at. So I'm just going to start with that. Before we switch to St. Louis, let's talk about magic numbers and a certain team that we just defeated, because honestly, I'm reading this and just going, ha, ha, ha. So our efforts against those fools have put them in a situation where they only have a 7% chance of making the playoffs. Congratulations, losers. So that's where they're at. Am I gloating? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Because when you win the last game of the series, you get to gloat. So there you go. 7% chance they'll be watching us on TV come November. Cool stuff. Outside of that, for us, of course, it's a little bit harder. We're only sitting at a 9% chance of winning the division, winning the West. We have to do something special on Wednesday to get there. About a 25% chance a second. But then I go over to Sports Club stats. They actually put records up on what you got to do to achieve each position. And there's a little more hope, especially for the LAFC faithful, when you actually look at the games themselves, who we're playing, and what do we have to do to get there. So if I look at our statistics and where we're at, the claim is this: if we run the table, which I know that's fantasy land, we would be a 97% chance of taking first place. Of course you would, right? Who does that? This is MLS. If you end up going basically 4-1-1, 4 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie, you're about a 62% chance of second place, 35% chance of first. But if you can go 4 and 2 draws, yeah, you're 61% chance of winning it. So what does that mean? You can't throw 2 games away. That's what that means. You got to go 5-1 if you really want first place, and I hope at first place. Yeah, you can't lose 2. That's our best option. Now, second place, honestly, we have a lot of outs, and things are kind of leaning towards finishing second if you look at the schedule. But again, if you do something special this week and you take out St. Louis and you take out Philly on the road, there's nothing to argue that you're not on your way. That's the hardest challenge I can imagine in this league, and we're doing it right now. Right? Bam, am I wrong in this? This is as hard as it gets. And if you get a result, pretty wild.
Yeah. Right now, results matter. That's all that matters is results.
And you're catching those 2 teams in a perfect time, right? I mean, they're not in their greatest form at the moment. They've had some ups and downs, and so this is your chance to jump on that. Now, remaining schedule for LAFC, and this is why I say it ain't easy. Again, it's St. Louis City on the road. It's the Union on the road. Salt Lake and Minnesota United back at home. Games on the 1st, game on the 4th, so they're close to each other. It's a little bit short rest, right? Then we go away for our final 2 games of the season. I know, not in our favor, right? You got to play Austin FC on the road, who's had a really struggling type of season, and they're desperate. And the Whitecaps, who've had a much improved season, let's be honest, on decision day to see where they finish. And they are pretty high in the standings for what they've done. They're sitting 4th place, which who remembers the last time the Whitecaps were in 4th place? I kind of can't. Can you? Everybody's shaking their head. No, because it's just not something we've seen in a very long time. So credit to them and having one hell of a season. But we're going to be facing them on decision day. Not an easy decision day to deal with. That's for sure. So if you can take these big boys down in this week and do something really special, life feels pretty good in the moment, and you get ready for, basically 2 home games. Build momentum. Got to do it. All right, so that's where it's at. I could break down the others, but let's be honest. If we see too far past tomorrow, we're going to miss the Wednesday game, right? We're going to mess it up. So we need to stay focused on what we're doing. That is for certain. Now, looking forward, yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the match it is. It's time to preview. So here we go. Boom. The preview time. Now, game's going to be 5:30 on Wednesday in St. Louis. They're currently sitting on a 15-4-10 record, 1st place. We're sitting in 2nd, 12-7-9. Yes, the chase is real. The chase is on. We've got some work to do. We're 6 points back with a game in hand. So what does that mean? Beat them on the road. That's what it means. We've already done it once at home. Not like it's an easy thing to do, but you've shown you can do it already. So there we are. Now, form-wise, Tony, how are they doing right now?
Form-wise, they are doing okay, is the best way to say it. They are 1 win, 2 losses, and 2 ties. The last 2 games have been ties. 1-1 against Houston, 2-2 draw against Carson, the loss against RSLA's Kansas City, and also a win against Dallas and a loss against Orlando City.
So there you go. Again, they hit a bit of a lull. There are moments that explain it. There are some red cards they've had to deal with, some penalties they've had to deal with, some unfortunate moments. But that happens the way the ball bounces in this, right? It gets tough, especially when you go on the road, which their last 3 games were road games, as we know how that works. That can shock you. So it did happen to them because that's what MLS does to you. Because when they were at home, they're 2-1 against Dallas before that. So you could see, they do get results at home. Of course, our form doesn't show anything too stellar, right, Tony?
Sorry. No, ours is not the because we just came off a derby win, so it's a different kind of like the momentum that we're shifting in, because before that we were on a 3-game losing streak since our last win, which was against Colorado. So it's a weird like momentum shift. We go from a 3-game loss to beating our rivals and almost knocking them out of playoffs potentially, to now trying to knock off the first place team and get closer to them.
Yeah, and your last 2 wins are against the lowest 2 place teams in the West, for reality's sake. So yeah, it's the sobriety of it all. Now, again, last time we played St. Louis, we beat them 3-0 at home, but that was July 12th, and that feels like an eternity ago with all the games we've been playing. Now, looking at the stats, seeing where we're at, total goals for us so far is 44. We always think that's pretty impressive. Yeah, St. Louis has 56. What? Yeah, and injuries they've dealt with, and they still got 56. Goal difference for them is a +18, we're a +10. Assists 28 for us, 31 for them. Goals against, they've allowed 38. We've allowed 34. So our defense has been a little bit better than them, and we've played 1 less game. Just to throw that out there. So yeah, the numbers aren't that far apart, except that goal production is pretty wild coming from them. Not too much of a shock, though, when you see all the players and how much scoring they've done. In terms of goal scorers, they've had 14 different goal scorers this year. That's just nuts. 14 different goal scorers. Of course, their leading scorer so far this season has been Nicholas Gioacchini, sorry. 10 goals, 27 matches. And Klaus, of course, coming in second with 7 goals in 14 matches. And you're like, 7 goals? Yeah, he missed some games. He had some injury issues, but now he's back and he's producing. So they're hitting their stride in terms of getting their lineup back together again, you could say. Even though the results haven't shown it over the last 3, things are getting back together for them. But it kind of explains where they're at. Other guys look at, of course, Samuel Adrinian, Edward Lowen, 7 goals, 6 goals. Jared Stroud, Tim Parker. Again, you go down the line, the only guy that hasn't scored is their goalkeeper. For guys that play regular. Again, dynamic offense. Assist man, of course, is Lowen, 10 assists in 24 matches, followed by Indiana Vasilev with 5, Stroud with 5, Alm with 4, and Klaus with 4. So to me, Klaus is the scary one. I'll just say that straight up. And of course, Roman Berkey being in goal, he's just probably one of the best in the league by far. And so that's helped them on their way as well. I look to you, Bam. Who are you looking at as potential troublemakers for us?
For me, again, Klaus is a big troublemaker. Nowitzki out in the defense can be a bit of a handful. But yeah, like going by, I'll jump into it now. Who's out for St. Louis? Going to the last game, they had one person that's questionable, which was Alm. He's out with a groin. I wouldn't risk him back now. I'll just keep him out as questionable.
He's still questionable, right?
I would say he's still questionable. It's questionable for last game with a short turnaround between games for them. I'd say he's still questionable for them now.
Oof. And then for us, the big loss, of course, is Palacios, right?
Yep, that's the only loss for us. Confirmed is Palacios.
Okay.
So too many yellow cards there. So that's a position that we need to think about who will take his spot.
That's gonna hurt. I ain't gonna lie. That's a bit of trouble. Now, looking at their lineup, what they usually field. What a shot, guys! It's a 4-2-3-1. At least usually. Sometimes they play a 4-4-2 traditional. What? Yeah, they do that. But I would expect more of the 4-2-3-1. Now, the last game, they had Klaus as their target man up top. Jackson was their central. I'm looking at it right? Yeah, against Houston. Jackson was in their central mid with Pompo, and Stroud as your outside midfielders. Lowen and Blom were your defensive midfielders. Nilsson, Parker, center back. Nervinsky as their outside right back, and Markanich as their left back. Berkey, of course, in goal. Game before that against Carson, of course. It's hard to really rate that game because there was a red card and a penalty against them. That's where they came out with 2 up top with Adrenian and Klaus for that 4-4-2 setup. Blom and Loven were their central midfielders with Stroud and Jackson on their left and right. Nilsson, Parker's your center backs, Watts and Markanich as your left and right. Berkey, of course, in goal. And then, of course, that Kansas City game. Yes, Araceli. Back to the 4-2-3-1. So, and Klaus, I guess he came off the bench for that one. So, what do you want to throw in there, Bam? You got something you want to say?
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Okay. All right. Getting another laugh. I figured I said something crazy again, so I do that a lot these days. That's what we do. So, yeah, I mean, this is what we're dealing with. Again, they can score from anywhere. They play as a unit, but we've solved them once. It's just we're missing some essential pieces here. So I throw it to you guys. The story will be us and what we're going to do to cope ultimately with the loss of Palacios in the lineup. So let's just go for the obvious. Who's in goal for this match? I go to you, Tony.
Max.
Bam.
I expect Max. Depends on how he pulls up after the game. If he pulls up a little bit iffy, then I can see them starting McCarthy. But at the moment, it's Max.
Araceli?
Going with Max.
There we go. The man is back. So that's what we got. Consensus. Max back in the lineup. All right, let's go to our center back pairing. I know we just saw Chiellini. He doesn't play a lot on short rest. But are we still going to get the Chiellini long vibe? And I'll throw this over to Araceli. Araceli, who are your center backs for this one?
I want to go with Chiellini and Long, but
Yeah.
that all depends if Chiellini travels.
Ooh. Bam, is he traveling? What do you think?
He's not traveling. It's going to be Murillo and Long.
Ooh, Murillo and Long. Man, that's a letdown, isn't it? Tony?
Long and Maldonado, I want to say.
Oof. Woo. All right. Now they do play on grass, right, Araceli? This isn't a turf game. This is real field that we're dealing with, right?
If I remember right, I think it is turf.
Yeah, that would decide everything right there. I'm going to lead more towards the Long and Murillo vibe for this match. Again, we never put Chiellini on short rest as much as that hurts. Do I think he might be there as a substitute role? Yeah, I do. I think he'll travel anyway. But even for moral support, they're going to put him on the road for this one. We're kind of in a moment here. So, yeah. Now, midfield situation. Hands up. Who wants to keep it exactly the same? No changes. Looking. Nobody's raising their hands. They want changes. All right, Bam, you're the first on this one since you're not raising your hand. Who's your midfield for this game?
Ilya gets a break. Acosta, Tillman, and Bogus.
Ooh, Ilya with a break. Check that one out. Araceli. Up to you, Nick.
First things first, it is grass. It's not turf.
It's grass.
It is grass. Actually, I was thinking of going with Bogusz, Ilie, and Tillman.
Bogusz, Ilie, Tillman. I'm going to say it's going to be exactly the same, which is Tony hiding his face. Where are you at, Tony? Who's your midfield?
Ilie for sure. I'll say Acosta and then Tillman.
Acosta, Tillman together. I think it's going to be exactly the same. Exactly the same as what we just saw. Outside back situation, I think it's pretty obvious. If Palacios doesn't travel, which he can't travel, Hollingshead on the left. And who's on the right, guys? What's to say?
Palacios. Oh, no. Palencia.
Yeah, it's a given. That's what it's going to be. Why would it be anything else? And honestly, Palencia came in and did fine. So we're good there. Up top's the story. Vela is a yes, right? No question. Bwanga is a yes, no question. Who's your other? And I go to you, Tony, first. Who's your other? Who goes up top with the big boys?
Go Oliveira.
Oliveira?
Yeah.
Bam?
I'm going your mate, Tony Mario.
Yeah. Okay. Your mate, Mario. All right, Araceli?
Oliveira.
I'm going with Oliveira as well, unless they just completely go wild on us. Also, remember, Krostev is in the mix too, guys. So you could see something from him today for that match as well. So don't be surprised if he surprises himself in the midfield for this one. So there we go. All right, there it is. So now that we've got our preview from our crew, let's throw that out to the supporters. Where are you guys at on this one? Let's get some more comments into the mix here. Let's see. There's a lot, guys. You guys had a really good time on here. Wolf showing some love to Millie. Well earned. There we go. Soccer USA says, any update on defender Mohamed Traore with USL side Phoenix Rising? Has he been playing, starting? Bam?
He has been. He's made 15 appearances with 1 assist, 4 yellow cards. He started the last 2 games, played the full 90s in their 0-0 draw against Tulsa and their 5-0 win over Detroit City. And also on that team in that 5-0 win, former LAFC player Danny Trejo scored a brace, and he's the current leading goal scorer for Phoenix Rising 2.
There it is. The stat man has it. Good stuff, dude. Good stuff. So they're playing, people. Soccer USA also says, would love to see Gaines, Duenas, Ordaz get some minutes to finish out games down the stretch. I miss Ordaz. I really do. Duenas, too. All of them. Good players. Soccer USA says, timing of playing St. Louis is ideal for us. St. Louis plays a quick full press game. We need to improve our overall pace. Felt we improved against Carson. Chances will be there. Yeah, it's going to be counters, which we just dealt with. So it's not new. And we did face them and did well against what they threw at us last time. So, yeah. Dave Gomez, he's correct. He says, theme here on out is focus. Yep, that's what it's going to be. Soccer USA says St. Louis will come try to catch us off guard, but we may get a couple early chances to put them away if we can weather the first 20 minutes. Storm, we should find our rhythm, play the ball. He is absolutely correct. That's what they're going to do. They're going to try to bloody us from the beginning. Just like we did against Miami, that's what they're going to try to do to us. If we can counter and be efficient on a counter, we beat them. Sounds easy when it's not, but that's what we have to focus on. He says worried about the center back pairing. Yeah, we don't know. We have Exotic Killer on the mix. There we go. Let's see. Wolf is calling for Long and Murillo. Soccer USA is calling for Murillo and Maldonado. Chiellini and Long versus Philly. Good thinking there. That's for sure. LAC Wolf is calling. He says Long was a beast this game. Maria and him together. If they synchronized is nice, including firepower on set kicks and corners from Maria. Good. Need good headers. Agreed. Dave Gomez is calling for Kike, Denis, and Carlos. There you are. Exotic Killer doesn't want Mario. There you go. Daniel on Hill, St. Louis travel tips. Are you going to St. Louis, man? Check this guy out. I heard there was a dozen or so. That wasn't a big crew this time, but there are some travelers. So, Araceli, you got any St. Louis travel tips?
Actually, I don't, because the last time I was in St. Louis, I was a child.
Oh, just across the way, but it is across the entire
There's
state.
really not a lot to do over there, to be honest. That's why I've never been back. There's no. I don't want to sit here and say there's nothing, but
Well,
let's put
I
it this
mean,
way. There's a reason why everyone from St. Louis has been moving to KC in the last couple of years. I'll just leave it at that.
okay. I would say this. If I'm going there, I'm going to go see the giant arch. Of course, who doesn't? It's everywhere. You can see it from millions of miles away, whatever. If the Cards are playing, go see the Cards. Their stadium looks cool. I mean, food's going to be good. It is the home of Budweiser. So, yeah, that. I think I got it covered, right? That's about St. Louis right there. There. Good. Done. It's a big city, man. You're going to have some fun. That's for sure. Yeah. That's all I got for St. Louis. Welcome to the Midwest. I do love Kansas City, though. Y'all know that. Michael, not Mike, says, Guten Tag. Respect the Crepo. Come back better leader on the pitch than McCarthy. But it's great to have two options. Love them both, man. Exotic Killer says, if Carson tied 2-2 with them, we have to be there. Remember, Carson got two kind of gifts in that game. They got a red card and a penalty to their advantage. So, and they got him on the road. So there's that. I mean, Carson was at home, so some advantage there. Sakura say, favorite part of Max's games is constant communication with defenders, always organizing. We'll say, though, from what I remember, J-Mac had the shutout against St. Louis at home. He did. He was the guy available. So again, we're not digging at one for the sake of the other. We love them both. They've both done great for us. It's just kind of Max's moment, right? His chance to shine. That's how it works. And you can see the love they have for each other on the field, guys. So again, it's a supportive environment. Got to look at it that way. Goalkeeper core. It's how it works. All right. There are comments. Good stuff, guys. Well done today. All right. So I will throw it to you, Bam. Are you ready to say something? You want to add into the St. Louis match? Anything you want to throw into the mix here?
No, just let's go out. Let's get another win. We need the wins right now.
Yeah, it changes everything. Again, we're 6 points out with a game in hand. You get the win. We're 3 points out now with a game in hand. That simple. And you take a chunk off of that goal difference if you get a win. We got to do it. Philly ain't going to be easy. Philly's going to be probably our hardest road match of the year. You can't expect a lot in Philadelphia. It's just a hard expectation there. Got to be a great place to visit. Great away day, whoever's going to go to that this weekend. But we'll preview that later in the week, of course. But yeah, all about it. All right. So with that being said, you know what happens at this point, everybody. It always happens. We start closing the shop. That's what we do every episode at this stage. So first and foremost, thank you everybody again for contributing, making it happen, giving your all against Carson. It was beautiful to see. Really. I saw from John Thorrington, he was giving shout outs to the supporters and how much louder we got when things went wrong in the game, and no let up. So guess what? For you traveling, good on you guys. Have a good one. Make some noise. For us here at home, go hang out with your friends. Go have a good time, a safe time. And of course, support how you're supposed to support. That's what we do. All right. I'm going to go to Tony first on this. Final thoughts, sir.
Final thoughts is pretty much good job, you all, and supporting the team in one of the biggest matches of so far the year. Again, every time it changes to something new and a bigger match, again, which is going to be Tigres coming up soon. So that'll be the next biggest match. But also wanted to say thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing our podcast when you can, the people who stay up with us. And listen to this madness at late night, especially Araceli and Ox, if he was in the chat that I did not see. Thank you very much. And also remember, I've been seeing this a lot on social medias, but no supporter, no person will ever be bigger than the club. So just support, do your job, and no matter how big you get, remember you are no bigger than the club, and you'll never will be. So that's my final say.
There we go. Well said, sir. All right, I go to Bam next. Bam, what you got? Final thoughts.
Again, thanks to everyone for listening, tuning in, whether you watch us live or later on. Everything helps. Spreading all the words out about us. Again, mental health awareness. You all know the drill. I say it week in, week out. If you need mental help, call 800-854-7771 or text 741-741 in the LA area. They will help you. They'll get you the help you need. It's okay to not be okay. Conversations can change lives. Just keep doing that. I'm going to keep spreading it for as long as I'm on this episode. As long as I'm on with these boys, I'll keep spreading it. Mental health is a massive thing.
Agreed. Support your community, support your people. Converse, talk, listen, ultimately. And help another supporter, help another friend. Araceli, final thoughts.
My final thoughts are simple, just as the boys were saying a moment ago. Thank you to everyone who listens to this podcast and all the craziness that does ensue every now and then on here. It's always a pleasure to get on to speak with you guys. And also, too, shout out to the LAFC fans that even live here in the Midwest. I've seen you guys out and about every now and then here in KC. So just to see the outreach that this club has, let alone our show, is always mind-boggling, because you wouldn't think to see a group of LAFC fans here, but here we are. Other than that, for everybody that's traveling to St. Louis, look, it's easy for me to sit here and just rip on the city as a whole. There are rivals for a reason, but in all honesty, I wish everyone a safe travels. Hope everyone has a great time at the match. The city itself, I'll leave it at that. But otherwise, if you're going to a watch party, wishing everybody just a safe Wednesday.
There we go. Thank you, Araceli. Well said. My final thoughts, my final comments on this is, one, I am proud of all of you guys, the Black and Gold faithful, especially this last match and the work you guys put in, whether it was making the TIFO, creating a really awesome tailgate for everybody, being on your best for this match and being ready for this match. It was pretty much minimal in terms of incidents and maximum in terms of performance from you guys. So shout out to all of you, all the way around. Club getting it done. It was good. This was a good week. This was a good feeling kind of week. So keep that up. Build on that. We'll get better for the next one. The next home game is a super challenge. It was like 10 days away. We got to play Tigres. We need to be on our best for that. That's for sure. There's a chance at a trophy, another one. It's been a little bit of a drought here with all those opportunities. So that's going to be a big one when we get back home. So yeah, on that, go to your watch parties. Make it noisy. Show what you got. Show some city pride. Wear your colors this week. It is a week to celebrate. Big week to celebrate after taking down Carson. So own it. Love it. Have that swagger. Y'all earned it. All right. On that note, final word of the day. I go over to Tony first. Final word.
Stay golden, Los Angeles.
Bam.
Stay golden.
Araceli.
Stay golden.
And for me to all of you, stay golden, Los Angeles.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the Black and Gold is taking over.